There it is.
Yeah. We are live. Welcome to Real Fishermen. We are your
Congrats.
hosts, J.R. Cobb, J.R. Cochran. That's Wes Rose to my right and Peter Malik on the bottom. Welcome to Real Fishermen.
Congrats getting out of Facebook jail, man. It's about time.
I'm hoping I talked to Wes this morning and I checked my status and I had 4 hours left this morning. Well, we got one person in here, so I must be good.
Well, they do it down to an hour, don't? Well, when you get out of Facebook jail, I think it does it to the hour. Just regular Facebook jail.
Yes, this was the same way. I couldn't go live, and everything I posted was moved down on everyone's feed, so I wasn't getting, like, nobody was seeing anything I was posting or saying.
You weren't important to everyone, basically, what it comes down to.
Yep.
Man.
Well, damn.
Have you heard anything? Got any news? Anybody catching any wahoo that you've heard of?
Oh, God, I guarantee you they're killing it out there right now.
I don't know. It's been pretty rough out there. I don't even know how many people.
I don't think anyone's been out.
It's been rough, yes. Yeah, if you could find a window, then I guarantee the bite's probably really good out there right now.
Friday and Saturday's looking awesome right now.
I looked. Friday's window kind of closed up a little bit, but let's see. That could have changed, though.
You guys ready for the intro?
Do it.
Here we go.
Another fish on. This one hits a cedar plug. We don't know what it is. I'm guessing probably a little black fin tuna, but. Started to mess with you and try to speed the motors up a little bit.
That would have been a Clint move.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh, the SARD?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get sarcastic on me. Guys, so everything should be biting down there if the weather would cooperate. I know that you probably can't get offshore to get those wahoo at the moment, but what about surf fishing? Shouldn't it be good right now? Shouldn't those big bull reds be, in the surf off the coast of North Carolina right now?
Should be, yeah. I want to say you were towards the back end of that bull red window, unless you're in a Hatteras or somewhere.
Yeah, on up. Go on up. Yeah, you could probably still get on some good ones up around Hatteras, and the Currituck Sound, and on up in that way.
Yeah.
So what kind of reel you think a Daiwa Saltist could handle those bull reds, Peter? What would you recommend?
Man, Zepco, a little Zepco, man. A little Zepco 33. No, I'm just kidding. Surf fishing has been something that I have not really gotten into, man, but the few times that I did do it, I did surf fish back in the striper heyday of late 90s, early 2000s, I think it was. Maybe, I don't know, somewhere thereabouts. And back then, when I used the, correct me if I'm wrong here, the Penn 5500.
Yeah, like a spin fisher.
Yeah, exactly. The old school one, the good
slammer
one from back then.
Yeah, the made in the USA one.
Yep, I still have it to this day, and that's what I use then. I'm sure the real market has exploded since, but it's just something I have not done in surf fish at all. Period.
I imagine the piers. People are probably catching some good Florida pompano from the piers, maybe some black drum, some red drum. The inlet fishing, the sea trout. People should be catching sea trout in the inlets just on some cheap store-bought shrimp. And fishing should be really, really good right now. I know in the freshwater reservoirs, the catfish, they were scattered for a while. The lakes turned over, and now the water temp's getting down around 60 on up into the upper 50s. As it's finally middle of November and we're finally getting some cold weather. The bait's starting to school up. Fish are moving to the mouths of the creeks, and fishing's good. The weather's nasty. It's rainy and cold.
I love this weather. I love it.
If you can get out there, if you got the proper gear to get out there, you can definitely go catch the fish right now. What's Wes holding up for us there? Is that the what they're calling for?
Is that Saturday?
That's Saturday.
Cool. Yeah, I just looked a little bit ago during the intro. Saturday looked good. Friday looked, I don't want to say Friday's bad. It's definitely fishable, but it's, it could go both ways.
A little bit sporty.
I wouldn't say sporty. I mean, it looks good for Friday, but again, I wouldn't trust what I see on Friday yet. Wait till time comes closer.
Well, Josh told me a secret today about bottom fishing, and I've never thought about it, but I'm going to try it, and what he said makes totally good sense. You know how we like when we're, a lot of people like to use chum bags when you're bottom fishing.
I never do.
Well, a lot of people do. But like he said, think about it. If you're fishing in 150, 160 foot deep of water, what good's a chum bag up on top of the water?
I always use the chum bags for trolling.
Huh?
I always use the chum bags when we troll.
No, I'm talking about bottom fishing. So
I never really
I've never chum bag ever.
Well, what should you do with the chum bags?
Troll.
No.
The only time I use a chum bag.
No, if we're talking about bottom fishing. In my case, of course, I've got anchor lock on a trolling motor, so I can pretty much, unless the current's just crazy, I can stay in pretty much one spot within a couple of feet. So you put a chum bag out, where are you going to put it?
Is it a punch line here? You put it on top of the water? Right.
No. I always tied mine off of the rear of the boat, the cleat, maybe the cleat or the
rear cleat,
swim ladder, maybe the swim ladder.
No. Put your weight on it. Some people use a bit
drop it deep. I never thought about that.
Drop it deep.
It looks like a big shark would come along and swallow.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, you can. He said you may have issues with that, but he said Wes. He said a guy told him about doing that, and he said it just changed his bottom fishing career.
I bet it did. I never thought about that. That's interesting.
That's just things you learn from people. He said, Wes, I promise you, if there's no fish on that bottom, drop that chum bag. And he said, just jerk it up and down. I told him what kind of chum bag I have. It kind of looks like the dog food thing. He said, jerk it. And now he said he puts his on the bottom rod, so if he don't have to pull, he can just wind it back up.
Now, I'm going to tell you a tip that you probably already know about. I think it's kind of common knowledge, but my cousin and I used to get Menhaden oil from Bass Pro. You can buy it in a gallon jug, and we would flip our live well on. Our live wells, you got a standpipe in the middle, and it just continuously runs, and the water goes out the scupper, right? So we would just take and put a little Menhaden oil in the live well and leave it running, and the Menhaden oil would get shot out through the live well. It basically, you're taking you're treating it as if it's concentrated, and you're making 30 gallons. If you got a 30-gallon live well, you basically you're making 30 gallons of chum oil.
Yeah.
Tell you something I do with the Menhaden oil is get a soda bottle, an empty one after you drink it, or a water bottle, and pierce a couple of holes in the bottom with the tip of your fish hook. Top it off with the Menhaden oil, tie it off to the side of the boat, and that little couple holes you put in there, I want to say couple, like 2 or 3 at most.
But again, like Wes is saying that who did you say told you that tip, Wes? Josh. Like Wes was saying, Josh told him, with the Menhaden oil, it's pretty much staying on the top. You're getting like an oil slick going on. So how much is that helping you when you're bottom fishing?
Yeah. So I don't ever chum while bottom fishing at all. Period. Bottom fishing. It's you bottom fishing.
The fish are there.
Is chumming because you're drawing in while bottom fishing. You're drawing in the small fish, what draws in the big fish. And can't tell you how many times you're bottom fishing and you're catching snapper and you're creating a food chain under your boat. Basically, you get the small fish to come in, and then the big grouper kind of investigate what the hell's going on over there. So they kind of creep up there, and then you start catching grouper. Will chum bag help? Absolutely, yes.
I've got some grouper rigs that I'm going to put on that with that Penn Slammer spinning rod, that Slammer 4. And I got a heavy action rod on it, and I'm going to be ready for them groupers' ass. I told Todd Asher, Todd and Maddox and his family, that's who's going offshore with me Saturday. But I told him, I said, y'all can catch all the fish. I don't, we're going, that's fine. But I want a grouper. I'm going to get me a fucking grouper one way or the other.
Well, the gags should be biting, I think.
Right? The gags should be inshore now. They should be way inshore.
Now the kings, they should still be biting, right? Like,
yeah,
just right off the beach, like 5-6 miles off the beach. Probably.
I would say the kings right now are gone off the beach for sure. Probably in that 25.
You probably pick up some, 10 miles out. I don't know, maybe. I don't know. I haven't been so.
On my grouper, what's the best? If I can get live, say we catch some beeliners, I catch a small one. Would it be okay to put a small beeliner live back down there for a grouper?
Drop them back down live, yes, sir.
All right.
Another thing I like to do is butterfly the tail off. Butterfly the tail, drop them down there. That works pretty good too.
Now, what do you mean butterfly the tail? Just cut a little.
Yeah, so you want to cut basically you want to fillet it and knock the backbone off, but yet you have your two fillets hanging off the fish head itself.
It's like you're filleting it to clean it. No.
Are you talking about what if I use one dead?
Start at the tail and you just fillet it up to it behind its gill, and then you flip it over and you fillet it from the tail up to the gill, and then you got those two flaps.
Yeah,
that current kind of just makes them makes it look like it's swimming.
But if it's alive, fish him alive, right?
That's how I fish. That's how I catfish, man. That's how I'd be doing in perch.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was telling Todd Asher tonight. I remember you said that if you get a grouper and you get a grouper and he gets back down to whatever hole he's in.
Yeah, you can't let him get in the hole.
Yeah, but I'm just saying if you do, it's over.
It's over.
Off something that lets the other fish know. It's just it kills the fishing, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Absolutely. Did you bump up your damn tackle from that cheap ass 40-pound test?
That's just all I had to make bottom rigs that day. But yeah, I've got 80 pound. I had some at home. I just didn't have it on the boat.
Gotcha.
And I don't know. I'm still using them ragged ass Daiwa reels. I bought
get you comments here.
Get you a damn Shimano, man. You can't go wrong with that now.
I bought one of the as JR would say, the flagship. I bought, which I'm gonna tell you, it's a Saltiga. I bought
Saltiga. Yeah.
Daiwa made.
Oh yeah. Well, it's better. It's better.
I hadn't used it. It's better than what's better. You said that was their flagship reel. That was the top of the line. That's their flagship. It's top
of the line. The Daiwa Saltiga spinning reel is the best spinning reel on the planet. No. Now, the conventional reel it's a good reel, but yeah, it's not. I don't know if it's the best in its class or not. I just know that the spinning reel.
Oh no, not by far. We won't even get into that debate. We know what Shimano still is, but.
It doesn't matter what kind of reel you got, Wes. You could have the dang Saltiga or freaking Abu or whatever the hell top of the market line, reel you got. If you don't lock that drag down, you won't catch no damn grouper.
You're talking about you're using fake wrestling to compare a Daiwa and a Shimano. We know all that's fake anyway.
Yeah.
But hey,
all right, I'll tell you what, Wes. I'll tell you what. Let's have a real battle, like Shane Reel and me did.
Hey, I'll put my Talicas up against any Daiwa.
Put the Talica up. I'll battle you with a Saltist.
Okay.
And we'll see.
They are.
It's gonna be bad, dude.
Saltists don't make a reel that'll stand up.
I'll chip in with a Torium.
That's Star Drag.
Yep. Yes, sir.
I'll tell you what. I'll bring a Star Drag to whip the Torium's ass, and I'll bring a lever drag to whip the Talica's ass. How's that sound?
I'll either use a Torium or a Speedmaster. If you want to do Star Drag to lever drag, I got you.
No, I'm talking about Star Drag to Star Drag.
Hey, those Speedmasters, for the money, That's a damn hard reel to beat right there.
It's pretty good reel, yeah.
This is a
Now,
hard reel to beat right here.
I ordered
The old pin, yes sir. Old 4-aught there.
the first pin reel I ever had was a Jigmaster.
I had a Jigmaster before, yeah.
Isn't that pretty? Look at that old thing. Bless its heart.
Let me see the spool.
I ordered.
Is that the old aluminum spool?
Yeah.
There you go. That's the right one there. The graphite spools are crap.
Yep. This is made in America. Pearl handle.
Yep.
You ordered a reel?
Huh?
I was saying, go ahead, Wes.
I ordered a reel Sunday, and I don't know if y'all have ever heard of these. They're made by a guy named Wes Fiegler in Virginia Beach, Virginia. And I did do a little bit of studying on this, and I didn't realize it's the only reel made in America. Everything is made in America by Americans in an American factory with a 100% lifetime warranty. They're priced reel for reel. They are cheaper than Shimano.
Now, they don't cover normal wear and tear. You know, you need to be clear on that. You know, it's not like a Craftsman wrench that, you know, you can wear it out 20 years from now and go get you a new one.
Oh, well.
It says on their warranty policy that they don't cover wear and tear.
You know, in 20 years, JR, who's going to care? You won't have it 20 years anyway.
Well, it depends on how much you fish. You can wear it out in a few months.
What I'm trying to say is it's a U.S.-made reel. It's priced. It's not a real high-end reel, but it's not a low-end reel. Made in USA, lifetime guarantee, Siegler. I'm gonna try one. It should be here tomorrow, and I think they say they make probably one of the best fly reels out there right now. They've got a large game narrow, a small game, and a small game narrow, and I think there's something else. But I've actually held one down at Roosevelt Outpost. I was gonna buy it, but I didn't want the LG. I wanted the small G, so I wound up ordering me one. And I'll tell you, there again, I think it's like $270, lifetime guarantee, made in America.
Looks very promising. It's very nice, very nice little reel.
And
they're offshore reels.
They're machined out of one block of aluminum. It's a solid. There's no screws. If you look real close, there's no screws in the side plate. No screws in the only screws is, and the gearing Pete is at the back of the reel instead of the front, to give you more torque, and the only screws on it is where you take the gearbox off, and that's it. No screws in the side plates. It's just like one anodized piece of aluminum.
Now, you said that they were the only reel manufacturer in the United States. That ain't true. You got
I said no. That ain't what I said, JR. You listening too hard, brother. I said it's the only one in the United States with a lifetime warranty.
So I'm assuming Abbott doesn't have a lifetime warranty.
No. Hell no. Dude, the first Abbott I ever bought. I bought it at Big Fish Outfitters. No, seriously.
Wes has trashed more reels than anybody I know.
I'm not.
Yeah, and yet he fishes once a damn month. I'm just kidding.
I give $350 fucking for a reel. I'm in Tennessee. I cast it out. And soon as I go to turn the clicker on, and the fucking clicker button just falls off in the boat. Boing.
Oh, well, tell us about your ambassadors.
So,
talking about it,
you think that's bad? Right? Tell us about those Black Edition ambassadors.
Man, that was the worst decision ever made in my life. but anyway,
what about the Daiwa Saltuses?
Well, I had
one of those lock up
on
you.
JR, you know what I was thinking?
What?
Oh boy, I'm scared.
I've got that reel in the truck. I ought to go out there and get some tools and take that piece of shit apart just to see what failed on it.
Well, do you have a small Phillips screwdriver?
I do.
Maybe a small flat. You're probably going to need a small flathead. Probably going to need a pair of needle nose pliers, maybe a pair of tweezers. That's probably all you're going to need.
And get you some damn bifocals while you're at it too.
If I take that reel apart or do anything to it, JR will swear up and down it didn't fail.
Well, I'll tell you what you could do is the easiest thing to do to check would be to take this right here off, just unscrew it,
Yeah.
And be careful when you're taking it off. Once you get it all the way
Spring.
unscrewed, kind of put pressure on it because there's a big spring in there.
Yeah.
And then take that off, and then take your side plate off. There should be, like 3 or 4 screws on the side plate. Take it off. You can pull your whole side plate off, and it could be your anti-reverse could be dirty. It's stuck in a certain position.
Well, like I said, after I got it jammed back up in gear, now it goes in and out of gear, but it just spins backwards. It won't.
Yeah, your anti-reverse is dirty. You got some corrosion. You got some salt, some dirt, something in there that's keeping that anti-reverse from coming back out and stopping that from happening.
Look how big that
it's just dirty. I guarantee you it's just dirty.
Corner.
That dog is huge, man. That dog is
He's
growing
about
so fast.
Pounds.
Wow.
He's less than 6 months old and he's 65 pounds.
65
already.
pounds and he's skinny.
It's going to be a monster.
65 pounds and he's not even fat. He's like lean.
No, yeah, he's going to be a beast.
Yep.
But yeah, JR, I'm gonna wait and let you do it. I'll say I'll take that so much apart and I never get it back together anyway. And then I'll what you saying, oh man, you did this, you did that, you didn't do this. You did that right.
It's gonna be something very, very simple. It's just gonna be the reel's just dirty. You got some dirt, some salt in there, something. I think that's all that's wrong with it.
Now, if the salt, I don't think the salt is. Now, I did read the Saltiga, and I didn't realize this. And all my Shimano reels are, but for what I gave for them, they should be. They're actually, what do they call it? Different
sealed?
companies call it, Pete. They're sealed. They're
sealed, yeah.
So water can't actually get into the gear.
Yeah, when the Saltiga, like the Saltus is in that same line of reels. The Saltus is nothing but a watered down Saltiga.
Yeah.
Same way with Shimano spinning reels, from the Stella, as you come on down the Shimano Symmetry, all the way down to the Sahara. Each one of them is just a watered down version of the one ahead of them. So they're all like the Pin Fierce to the Pin Battle. They're basically all the same reel. They just keep getting better and better and better as they get up. Like a Pin Seagate or a Pin, as your buddy Catfish Dave likes to use. Well, he used to. The Daiwa Sea Line. He used to like the Daiwa Sea Lines. But
yeah.
I don't know why he got off those. Now he wants a reel that's made in Japan. He wants it to be made in Japan. So
I'm gonna friend this Catfish Dave guy just for comic relief, I guess, because it sounds like he's a funny dude. Not in a good way, but
Oh man, hey, every post, bless his heart, every post that he posts now is why he lost 2 friends today, or how many people he's going to unfriend on Facebook. And I fuck with him all the time, and I can't get him to unfriend me.
You talked to him the other day, didn't you, Wes?
I did.
You mean he actually answered your call?
Yeah.
Wow. Now, I'm telling you, Wes has a gift.
He does, doesn't he?
Guys love him. People love him.
I ain't got no gift. But
you got Catfish Dave to answer a phone call. You know how many people try to call that dude? Like probably thousands.
Hold on, watch this. I'm gonna try to.
You gonna make his head swell.
Hey, I'm gonna try to call him now. See if he answers. Hold on.
Yeah, $100 says he won't answer.
All right, let's try. Hold on a minute. I'm gonna say, Dave, everybody want to tell y'all, hey, on the show tonight. Let's see.
Oh boy.
He might be watching.
How many viewers you got?
Oh gosh, I don't know, but we got a bunch of comments that I haven't even been looking at. Is this a rerun? I'm pretty sure I've seen this episode.
I'm gonna tell it. I'm just gonna tell him y'all wanted to see him on the show.
When is the Spinner Shark trip? Scott said. Wes. Mark Dillon. Mark Dillon says he likes his Cat Pro rod and reel for the money. I saw Mark Dillon's Cat Pro rod. It was a very nice rod.
It ain't connected for some reason.
Yeah, it's because he's not answering.
No, it ain't even ringing.
He blocked your ass.
That's what it's ringing. That's what that sound is. That boop, boop, boop.
No, when it rings, it'll go brrr, brrr.
Oh,
it'll make a different sound. Mine ain't even connecting.
Yeah.
But anyway, maybe he'll call me back. But Pete, what's your favorite reel?
I don't really got a favorite reel, man. I'm all about using all variety, man. But I'm gonna say
Shakespeare
right
Tidewater.
No, absolutely not. Hell to the no. I'm gonna say it right now, man. The Torium's hard to beat, dude. For the price,
Torium's hard to beat.
Actually, yeah,
for
I think
price,
this year,
I mean, they're like $260. I mean, that's kind of expensive.
Hey, Pete, Scott Perry wants to know if you have a drone.
Yeah, I know, right? Now that computer's still making his damn fan. The fan's still making the noise there in the computer.
Damn.
Well, that helps. Whatever you just did.
Oh, did it?
It's kind of coming back.
Where's Riggs at?
For a second. There he is.
There he is.
We're going to start a GoFundMe for Peter's fan.
I'll use my other computer. How's that? It's all updated now. Go run quiet.
Hey, put the camera back on Riggs a minute.
Riggs is, look at him, man.
I don't know. I thought he was kind of white.
He is
with black spots on him for some reason.
No, he's all gray with.
Dalmatian.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought he had kind of a Dalmatian look to him.
No.
Okay.
No, sir.
I was just wondering if you didn't have a color phone or your computer just wouldn't show different colors. That shit does sound like a drone, don't it?
Oh yeah, it sounds absolutely horrible. That's why we can't. That's why nobody watches us.
That's a lie.
But yeah, Peter, have you ever heard of Siegler reels?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
They just did a thing on up in Virginia Beach with him. Actually, the day before yesterday. I'll tell you, it looks pretty promising. He sells a lot of reels. And, there again, made in the USA, lifetime guarantee. That's hard to beat. So.
Now, hang on a second, Wes. We've got a recent development here. James Long is saying that he bought your black edition ambassador.
But
JR, so wait a minute now, James Long.
Okay, hold on a minute. Now and I ain't gonna say no more. You're talking about a motherfucker that catches party fish with an ambassador. Ask James Long how many 50-plus pound stripers.
Now wait a minute. Did
caught on them?
Was the locked up ambassador included?
James Long, my ass. James Long does not precision cast. James Long cannot catch a fish unless Todd Asher's got his finger up his ass.
Now so, I got in a striped bass challenge a couple of years ago, and James, I think he came in like 6th place. He can fish. So James Long, were one of those Black Edition ambassadors locked up? Was it one of the ones that locked up on you, Wes?
No, I threw it away. The one that locked up with me, I dumped that son of a bitch up there in the river.
Oh, you threw it in the river.
Yes.
Okay.
Good place for it.
I think Scott Perry said, "How about Truth Reels?" I think that Siegler company bought Truth. Same company. Okay.
Yeah, same company.
All these dang reel malfunctions. Wes must be the most unluckiest motherfucker out there because I hear about all these damn reel malfunctions and shit.
I know. He's the worst guy. I don't know anybody.
I think it's user bad luck. It's got to be user error every damn time. As much as I damn fish, I have never had a damn reel blow up on me.
Wes has probably spent upwards to $100,000 on reels in the last 5 years.
And one don't last you but 2 fucking trips.
Listen, I have tried just about every reel on the market, and that's no lie. So it ain't nothing to do with user error.
You
buy so much of something, just like the other. That's why I've had issues. Oh, hey, look who's calling. Y'all be quiet now.
Okay.
We're gonna nickname you User Error. It's your new name.
Hey, David, what's going on? Hold on a minute. I'm trying to get you on speaker here. Let's see. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I can now.
Can you see me?
I see a chair.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
A brown chair.
Can you see me now?
Yeah.
I can't see you.
Well, hang on.
I got a question for Dave.
Well, hit the video button, David. There you go. All right, David, listen. I got two buddies on here that wanted to say hey to you tonight.
Oh, okay.
Got a question for you, Dave.
Now y'all be nice.
Why did you get away from the Daiwa Sea Lions, and why must you have a reel that's made in Japan now?
What now?
Why did you get away from the Daiwa Sea Lions, and why must you have a reel that's made in Japan now?
All I can hear is Sea Lion in Japan.
Hey, Dave, we're on the show with JR and Pete, and we're talking about reels tonight. And JR wanted to know why you got away from the Sea Lion, the Daiwa Sea Lion, I think, and you're just wanting reels made in Japan now.
I don't have nothing against the Sea Lion. I mean, I use them off the bank. The drag system is not the same material that's in the Seagate or the Saltus. The drag, you know, it's a good year for reel for me for a couple of years, whereas a true Saltus would probably last me 3 years on the drag. Sea Lion's probably going to last me 2 years. But, I mean, as far as a bottom price reel, to get out there and just cast, hold a bunch of line, I never had any trouble out of any of the Daiwa conventionals other than the drags. And the Sea Lion drag did not last as long as a Saltus or a Seagate. But I mean, I had no trouble with them. I mean, if I was going to be bank fishing again, I wouldn't mind having a couple 40-size Daiwas. They worked. Never had a trouble with a Daiwa conventional, other than finally wearing them out.
Yep, I like my Saltuses.
Yeah, I just got a new one. It's just a 15 size. It's got an extra bearing. It's the black and blue model. And
is that a 2-speed model?
I know the black and gold were a solid reel. I still got a couple black and golds left. One of them I left one night on the bank, but I've still got a couple black and golds, and they're still going strong.
I think is that a lever drag reel or is that a star drag? The 15 size.
The 15 size is a star drag.
All right, well, David, since we got you on the show, you on here, JR is on here. Both of y'all were great fishermen. I want y'all to call a truce and y'all be friends. I ain't gonna have none of this fucking arguing all the time. JR said he's down if you are. What do you think?
I mean, the only reason I blocked him was he asked me to block him.
JR, did you ask him to block you?
That was so long ago. I don't know. I'm sure I did. I'm sure that, I mean, I don't know. You'd have to look up that whole post. I don't really remember, but I think it was on one of those, nights. So yeah.
Well, listen, let's do this. The past is the past. Y'all both great fishermen. Let's quit all this fucking arguing. Why can't we all just get along? How's that?
I agree. Yep. Love you, Dave.
So sweet.
You, Dave. I'm sorry, Dave, and I hope that you can look past our differences. And I guess I will.
Well, JR apologized. I don't know if you can hear him. He said he was sorry, and please unblock him, and y'all gonna be good friends.
He's got to be better than Peter Millward.
Oh, hell.
Well, listen, you unblock him, and you can be a guest on the show one night.
I might.
Yeah, you can. It's an awesome show. We have about 12 to 15 viewers every Tuesday.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's winter. I've got more time. As a matter of fact, I hardly ever night fish anymore.
Yeah, it's tough going out there when it's as cold as it is.
Yeah, I don't care about being out there at night when it's cold.
All right, David, listen, I'm going to get off here and get back to the show. You can unfriend JR. If you didn't hear him, he did say to you he was sorry. He's probably having one of them moments, but me and him have them all the time. I just overlook it. All right, man, y'all.
I'm heading up to the store, and I'll get to it here in a little bit.
All right, y'all be good.
Okay, see you, Dave.
All right, bye.
Wow.
Oh,
Wes,
so sweet. So sweet.
Wes is quite the diplomat, isn't he?
I know, right?
Wow.
So back on topic. User error. Wes don't know how to use a fucking reel.
Look here,
I think that that's probably got a lot to do with it. I think
he's rough on equipment.
I think that yes. I mean, but the thing is, though, I see Wes clean his boat. Wes is he's a stickler for every time he goes offshore fishing, he comes back, he washes his boat down. I don't know how meticulous he is on washing his rod and reels down. I have seen him wash his rod and reels, but he's I don't think that he's actually taking them like individually and washing them very well. But he's doing as much as like I think most people would do, and there should be no reason his Daiwa Saltist is locking up like that. So I think he just might have some bad luck.
JR, I think there's a lot more to the story that we're not hearing about these reels.
Well,
there may be.
Like he gets mad and throws it against a brick wall or something, calls it a piece of shit. I don't know.
Scott Perry, can you believe what just happened? Abbott Nabu tore up in fresh water. Yeah, the Abbott that Wes was talking about earlier with the clicker falling off. That was in fresh water.
So I was going to say something actually about that. There was a period of time where the AVETs there, they actually did have bad clickers, and they didn't really recall them, but you were able to send them back and get them fixed.
I sent it back and they fixed it. I had to pay like $60 in shipping. But they did fix it. And then as soon as I got it home, I sold it to Joseph Harrison.
Yeah, so there seriously was a time where the clickers were bad and all of them sold, and they didn't last long at all. And they replaced them all. Like sent you parts, or I don't know, I forgot what it was, but yeah. Give you time frame here. It was
roughly, I had to send that so much all the way to California.
Is that where right. Avid? That's where Avid's headquarters is?
Undoubtedly, that's where I had to send it to. Well, there again. When we used to aggravate Chris Hovis about making them ragged ass bait tanks that leaked everywhere. Anytime you got stuff that's mass produced, and I used to try to take up for that little bastard, but anytime you've got stuff that's you're gonna have issues with anything, and it's man-made and it's anything. It don't matter what it is. It's not if it's gonna tear up, it's when it's gonna tear up. And sometimes
I think Hovis actually made a video about that, about things being, handmade. Anytime you get something that's handmade, you're gonna have some issues with it.
Yeah.
Now my buddy Alan, he welded his own. Well, no, he actually used it was something like similar to JB Weld. I don't know exactly what he used. I'll have to ask him.
5600 problem?
No, it wasn't like 3M 5200. It wasn't any of that. This was like some type of 2-part epoxy, I think. I'll have to ask him. But I looked inside of his bait tank on there last time we went fishing, and it fixed it. I mean, it was bulletproof. What he did just absolutely probably better than That's the thing is these welded tanks. I mean, they're plastic welded. So, I mean, how good are the weld beads? Anyways, if you use some type of epoxy, it's probably going to be better than the factory plastic weld anyway.
Well, Scott's got a Shad Shack, and I don't think he ever had an issue with his. And Scott used to fish a lot more than he does. But I mean, he's used the shit out of that tank. I know since he's had that North River.
If I bought a tank, the problem is that inner wall that separates your filter side from your.
That's the wall that always leaks.
That's the one that leaks, and it's actually, I want to say it's just one weld bead, maybe two, but either way, just epoxy it. I mean, even the flex tape works great. So I mean, I really don't see what the big deal is.
No offense toward Chris, which I don't give a damn if he finds him offensive or not. The flex tape was better than the fucking weld to me.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Is, I mean, how good is a plastic weld anyway?
Yeah, exactly.
And everybody praises like super bait tanks. Well, a Shad Shack is the bait side is, if you get a 30 gallon Shad Shack, the bait side is actually 30 gallons.
Yeah.
A super bait tank The bait side and the filter side is 30 gallons. A 30-gallon super bait tank is tiny. You can't keep 10 dozen herring alive in a super bait, a 30-gallon super bait tank anywhere near as effortlessly as you can a Chechak 30-gallon.
Well, that bottom filtration has got a lot to do with that. You know,
all I gotta say is learn to troll artificial, and you won't give a damn about no leaky ass bait tank.
There you go.
The end.
Well, Pete,
I like that. I'll be right back, guys.
But there's nothing like the feeling. Like I said, when we went out offshore the first trip with me and Anson, and then when I went with JR, you know, you remember you the first one showed me how to rig a ballyhoo. I'd never seen that done before. When I come down there that day, me and Richie came down there on your boat.
Yeah.
You know, but actually doing that yourself, trolling yourself and catching those fish, because a lot of people will never catch a wahoo. That was always my bucket list fish.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever told you that or not, but it always was my bucket list fish. Now I just want a marlin, and I guess that's really about all I really care about in the ocean. But I've always wanted.
You gotta start small, get a sailfish first, and then move up to a marlin.
Well, the first bite me and Anson had was a sailfish. He come out of the water, and I like the shit. And by the time Anson picked the rod up, he spit the hook. He jumped one time and he was gone. You know, it just wasn't a good hook set. But, yeah. Wahoo, I still like to catch a spinner shark, but I'm probably done with shark fishing out there unless it's just all I can do and can't get offshore. If I can get offshore, I'm riding.
There you go. Scott, don't hate the player, hate the game. You know, now, truth be told, our neck of the woods, I say my neck of the woods here, NC, you don't need live bait around here, but, you know, where you guys go, Hartwell, all those lakes, yeah, live bait definitely catches the bigger fish, but our state management sucks, so we ain't got nothing but 8, 9, 10-pound fish at best. So, therefore, artificial is better than live bait.
Is there a lot of bait on Norman? Do y'all have a good bait population?
It's a decent bait population, but it's very small bait.
Oh, really? Y'all don't have like big gizzard, big mom?
No, I mean they are there, but it's not the go-to bait.
Now, do y'all have LYs in Norman?
We do, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
How about herring?
I will say yes for sure, but I think the LYs definitely overtake the herring population there.
Now, they say the only way you can tell a difference is if you cut them open. I think the LY's meat's a little bit darker than the herring.
Well, you can tell by the eyes. You know, the LY's got bigger eyes, a little darker overall.
Now, are they in the herring family? Are they a herring?
I believe so. Where's JR hiding at? He's commenting.
He's commenting.
Yep. Yeah. Probably right about that, Scott.
Oh, Scott Patsy's on the
He's probably taking a shit. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did kind of leave in a hurry, didn't
he? He did. Yeah. It's like he was pinching it.
Yeah.
A little turtle poking his head out.
But yeah.
Scott Perry said artificials equals turds.
No, Scott Perry said,
well, you know, Peter was saying earlier that, you know, they tend to not be smaller in the winter or in the colder months, you know, versus, you know, the warmer months. So
yeah,
I mean, and look at I don't know if Mercer Outdoors. If you haven't been to Mercer Outdoors, you need to go check it out. Awesome website. Anything you want on there. But anyways, yeah, David Mercer trolls big artificials, those big expensive like segmented baits, and
yeah,
catches some pretty decent sized fish on them, I must say.
You know, like anything else, you got to know how to do it. I got it down to a fine art, the way I do things at least. But
well, let me tell you how I do it.
Like we talked about earlier, though, it's all about confidence too. You know, if you're confident trolling artificial, then you'll catch fish. But you know, a lot of folks have trolled live bait their entire lives.
So Alabama rigs.
Yeah.
So most guys are going to be using the Zoom Super Fluke Juniors on the Alabama rigs. Like pretty much if they're going after party fish, quote unquote party fish, you know, hybrids. Which is what we have in our lakes. You know, you could go down the Watery and you could get on some some stripers that get stacked up on trolling Alabama rigs. But most guys I think are using the Super Fluke Juniors just simply because they work and they're cheap, and you can afford to, run 4 Alabama rigs with 5, having 5 Super Flukes Juniors on each rig. And you can change them out. I don't think everybody's running Kitech swim baits on their Alabama rigs. What do you use? Let me take a wild guess before you answer that. I'm gonna guess
we talked about it before. So.
Saltwater Assassins.
Nope.
Okay. What do you use on your Alabama rigs, Peter?
It's a company called Striper Sniper, and it's basically a 3.5 or 4-inch sassy shad. That's it.
Okay.
It's so there's your typical sassy shad, whatever company invented them, and then there's the Striper Sniper. It's about the same cost, really. Like 50 pounds is $15 maybe. But the rubber on that thing is a lot lighter, so you get a lot more action in those little shads.
I like the light action. I would rather have a swim bait that tears up easily and catches fish than a swim bait that's durable and doesn't catch.
And that's exactly right. They tear up a lot easier, but at the same time, I'd rather have that versus a more durable, less action rubber.
Right.
Scott Perry
now,
said trolling artificial is the bastard of striper fishing.
Scott Perry don't know nothing about that shit.
Well, I think casting Alabama rigs is the basser.
That's right. Yeah.
So, what exactly are you doing differently, Peter? You said you got it dialed in, you got it down to an art. I mean,
I'll tell you, but I have to kill you.
When I go out there, I'm gas troll. Are you gas troll or using your trolling motor?
So I used to do both. When I got my new boat, the Bulls Bay, I cannot get my speed dialed in right with the gas motor, so now I use my trolling motor, or I do a combination.
Well, let me ask you this: I'm assuming that you can't get it down slow enough.
Correct. Yes.
So have you tried using drift socks to?
I do not. No. I'm all about the trolling motor now, and it's definitely do me good.
You just soon use the trolling motor than to have to deal with drift socks and all that.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
If it's that damn windy, I shouldn't even be fishing anyways.
Well, I guess you're kind of limited because a bait guy, if it's limited, he at least he can still anchor up and fish.
True.
You're not gonna anchor up with artificials.
Yeah. So I'll tell you what I do. Okay. So I troll lead core as well as mono. Okay. I have if I'm fishing by myself or with a guide party, I will troll 8 rods at one time. If I have a great crew with me that knows what's going on, I'll troll 10 rods. I'll have 6 rods off the back of the boat and 2 on downriggers. It's all about spacing and depth.
So you're fishing 8 rods? Do all of them have Alabama rigs?
No.
Okay,
See,
so you're just singles
that's the
or
common myth
tandems?
right there. That's the myth right there that you troll all Alabama rigs. Incorrect.
Let me ask you this: are you trolling all of the same type of bait on all 8 rods?
Yes.
Okay.
What's the deal? I hear everybody talk a lot about lead core. Is that actually some kind of? Is it just a heavy line?
It's heavy. Yes. It has lead like a pencil. You know how a pencil, like a number 2 pencil, has lead in the center.
Yeah.
Lead. It's basically braided line that's hollow, that has a lead core that's malleable.
Yeah.
That bends.
And it just so it's heavy, it helps us patrolling deeper.
And as you troll, well, you need tension. You can't just like throw it out there; it'll float. I mean, it's
you
not.
You can't cast it, Wes. You got to put it out while the boat's moving.
Yeah, and it's color coded. And a lot of guys they troll the lead core, they'll say, "Well, I caught that fish at 3 colors, or I caught that fish at 5 colors." The color, when the color changes, it changes every how many feet?
It's been a while now since
I think it might vary on which.
I think every 10 yards is one color.
David Mercer.
Yes, every 10 yards is one color.
The one, what did you say? David Mercer?
David Mercer's on here now.
What's going on, David? He said a trolling plate. Okay, he uses a trolling plate, Peter.
I have considered trolling plate, but the problem with trolling plate is you lose control of your boat.
No, I always wanted one. I remember back when I used to try to do that crap, 10, 15 years ago, they had this trolling plate, and it was called something, the Happy Troller or something like that. But yeah, those things are kind of pricey.
Yeah, they're pricey. You got to have it at a right speed, and you will lose control of your boat on a windy day.
Scott Perry says he wants to know if anybody ever pulled a sea witch with a herring strip on it.
Give it a try, Scott. Do it.
A sea witch with a hair. What do what now?
A sea witch with a herring on it.
Well, I mean, you use a sea witch with ballyhoo, right?
No.
Yeah, or cigar minnow.
You do with ballyhoo. Sea witch with ballyhoo. Yes, you do.
Yeah. So I mean, a herring you could. There may not be, but 2 inches of the herring.
David Mercer said to tell you, if you lose control of your boat, it's your driver error.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Well, Peter said, "Come show him at the next challenge, the stripe, or what is it called, the hybrid striped bass challenge."
That's right. That's right.
Come show him, David.
That's right, Dave. Come on.
Hey, Pete, you gonna fish that this year? It's gonna be on Hartwell again.
No, we're talking about a different tournament.
We're talking about the hybrid striped bass challenge.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Try to talk Wes into come fishing a catfish tournament with me, Peter. I can't get him to do it. We got the big money showdown going down this weekend, but unfortunately I have to work. My buddy Alan's going to get in it, but
where's that
I'm not
at?
going to be able to make
the
it.
one on Hartwell?
No, the big money showdown is on Wiley, and it pays big money. So come on.
If Wes does it with you, just make sure he don't touch your reels because he might explode on you. I don't know.
Hey, is there any big fish in Wiley?
There's good fish.
Wiley's got a decent class of 50-pound fish. The big fish in the last tournament I got in on Wiley was 51 pounds. So I mean, there's not a crap load of them or anything, but I'll put it to you this way. There's one caught about every tournament on Wiley. And back in 2017, me and a friend of mine caught a dozen. We caught 12 fish over 50 pounds in that year. So they're in there.
JR, you can go ahead and take that comment down that James Long made. I mean, we get the picture already. That shit's been up there for 30 minutes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So, talking about the lead core thing, the way I do things again, I only troll 2 Alabama rigs, and both of those are on the downrigger. If I have
lead core?
No lead core, no, all monos on Abus there. So I will, if I have a great crew of me, friends that know what they're doing, I will have 4 Alabama rigs. I'll have 2 on lead core and then 2 on the downrigger. But everything else on the back of my boat is double shad rigs.
Tandem rigs. So are you doing it the leader with the swivel and then putting another swivel on the main line so it stops on the other swivel?
I am doing the 3-way. So I'll have basically.
How long is your longest one?
About.
Cutting
I like to have it. My longest one, the length of a rod, so about 6 to 7 foot.
So if you got that one, let's say you have it 6 foot, so your shorter one will be how long?
About 3 foot.
So about half the distance.
All this shit sounds like that's more trouble than trolling live bait.
So do you have weight on that?
The jig heads, that's it.
Just the jig heads, that's
Correct.
It. Okay. How fast you trolling? About 2.5?
I'll troll anywhere from 1.7 to about 2.4.
That's right. You're using your trolling motor. You're using your trolling motor, so 2.5 is pretty fast for a trolling motor.
Well, I can do it, absolutely.
Well, that is cool. So you're running the tandem swim baits and no more than 2 to 4 Alabama rigs, and 2 of those will be on downrigger.
That's correct. Yeah,
and the other 2 will be on lead core.
Correct.
Wow.
And the other 2 on the lead core will actually be shallow, and I have a certain situation that I'll troll those more than any other time, and that situation is during a big shad kill.
So you're basically you're using, which it's weird too, because you're telling me that the 2 that you have on lead core are actually your most shallow running.
That is correct. Yeah. So
and it's because you don't have them on the downrigger, but you also want to keep them subsurface.
Yep.
So you use lead core. Gotcha.
I have a lot more success with the Alabama rigs up top during a massive shad kill, and I'll troll it maybe 6 foot below surface.
Okay. Now, are you referring to Lake Norman when you're talking about
Lake Norman? That's correct. Lake Norman, even Lake Watery.
Okay.
Pete, I got a question for you. Talking about artificial bait or trolling.
So
I remember when me and JR were catching those wahoo. I didn't realize until after we caught both of them when I went to put a third bait out. I had forgotten to pop the eyes out. But I heard you say some people leave the eyes in.
I've never popped the eyes out of a ballyhoo.
Do you rather fish with the eyes in, or do you pop them out?
So I use a spring, and I don't pop the eyes out.
No,
so popping the eyes out, they mostly do that with the ones that want to run the copper wire through them. And the main reason for that is because they put the wire through the eyes and cinch it down, to the actual main line.
Oh, I just rubber band mine. I use a rubber band.
Even that, they'll run the rubber band through the eyes and wrap it up.
No, I don't run it through the eyes.
Well, I'm telling you, some guys do run it through the eyes. That's why they pop the eyes.
I will say this: when we fished with Keith, he popped the eyes out, and I noticed his ballyhoos were swimming quite nicely.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always just broke their back, squeezed the poop out, run a couple naked, run a couple with skirts on it. I mean, that's really not. I always use pre-rig ballyhoo too. I always wanted to rig ballyhoo, but my cousin, he always bought the pre-rig ballyhoo. So, hey, that's less work for me.
I tell you, I love doing it, making my own. I buy the skirts and get the wire. And YouTube is an amazing thing, but I think it just depends on how bad you want to learn something, how much you can get into it. And you're watching these videos of people that catch fish. And even like when I was watching Pete, watching everything they do, just like when you put your hook on, when you twist your haywire twist, how many twists do you do? Then you put your weight on, how many twists do you do? Then you go from a haywire to a what do you call it when you're barrel to a barrel wrap. And then you got to leave so much on it going through his nose. It's just that was pretty cool.
I've rigged a couple. And when I tried rigging, the ones that I rigged, I used dental floss. Have you guys ever heard of anyone using dental floss?
I've heard of it, but I haven't done it myself. Yeah. You see this little asshole here all of a sudden? He has awakened.
Now, Pete, when I rigged mine, I didn't put my rubber band behind the gills. I just used the little black rubber bands. Just tight. I do leave enough of Bill, that little groove in the middle of his bill, so my wire can set up in that groove.
Yeah.
Then I rubber band them pretty good. So that's the way I ran mine.
Yeah. Now, Wes, did you clip the PEG fins off? I noticed Keith also clipped the PEG fins off. Okay.
Yeah, I clipped the PEG fins off.
I mean, that makes sense because the PEG fins could potentially make it, not swim as well.
Here's the way I did it. First of all, I get all the poop. I get all the poop I could out of it.
Bless you. Yeah.
Break his back real good. Make sure he's winding. He's real flexible. And then pop his eyes out. And then I try to mark not where my hook's going to come out, where my chin weight's going to be up in his gill, and hold my thumb on that mark so I get my hook work down in him and hook him up. So,
all right. Well, hey, it's been a great show, guys. It's been over an hour.
Well,
Wes got Catfish Dave and New School Reunited.
Yeah, look at that. Wes is the man. He's the peace. He's such a damn asshole, but he had a peacekeeper at the same time. How's that?
That's weird.
Right. I don't mean to say asshole. He's a shit starter, but yet a peacekeeper.
Quite the oxymoron, isn't it?
No, I just start shit with people that I like. If I don't like people, I'm not going to start shit with them because I don't want to fuck with them anyway. Damn, JR, you want to get off early tonight? Last week, hell, we got off, and then you went on. Hell, you had a couple beers in you, so you got on YouTube when nobody watching but Scott Perry.
I did,
well,
yeah.
I think we got 3 people watching now.
I think I had some kind of placebo thing going on because I knew I couldn't go live on Facebook, so it made me want to go live. So, now that I know I can go live, I'm good. Okay, before we end the show, I would like to get Peter's analysis on the Dallas air show. What went wrong?
It's hard to speculate, but just the other day, on Monday,
the fighter plane saw.
Yeah, so Monday on my day work, I was flying with a military guy. that has a lot of time in a A-10 and some other various aircraft, and he's done formation flights and such. And he said that he actually studied the video, the whole video, not just what you saw there. And he said what the parts that that public hadn't seen was basically those aircraft. I don't even know what type of aircraft it was. The smaller one.
They were flying both ex-World War II planes. They were
correct.
Both
yeah,
vintage aircraft.
They were flying in formation, and then they broke off formation, and they were going. Basically, they broke off, and they're trying to reform. And the aircraft that hit the other airplane was the third airplane trying to come back into formation. And when he turned, the canopy was not looking towards the actual aircraft itself that it collided with, so he didn't see it. If you look the way the airplane turned like that, there's no way that he could see the airplane above him as he made that turn. He should have seen him prior to making the turn, but just the way the aircraft was built, as he makes that sharp bank, he doesn't see the airplane prior to making that turn.
The first words I heard when I watched that video was, "Oh, fuck."
JR froze up over there in this upper corner.
Yeah, well, he is frozen up, ain't he?
Hell yeah, he is.
Earth to JR.
He gone.
He gone. Yeah, I tell you, that was awful. Now, what would they do, people? They look at the black boxes on the airplane.
Those airplanes don't got black boxes.
Does yours, does ones you fly have black
Oh,
boxes?
Yeah, they do.
Now, they record everything.
Everything, absolutely.
Every coordinates, every conversation,
everything, absolutely. So I'm gonna tell you a little interesting story here. I had an incident that happened to me about a year and a half ago. No fault to any of us. Basically, we had a severe thunderstorm and we broke off our approach and so on and so forth. And they reviewed the actual CDR. We call it CDR, and they actually put a video together, the whole instance. And basically, long story short, is you can't lie because it will actually, to the exact moment you push a button and turn a switch, it pops up right away. And they can build a video out of it just like that. Yeah. And they can put together a 3D graphic of how the airplane reacts and does whatever as you touch those buttons too. So yeah.
Have you ever heard of Lockheed?
Lockheed Martin?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, one of their biggest plants is here in Greenville out at Donaldson Center.
Uh-huh.
And I had a buddy that worked out there. He retired with Lockheed Martin. He said, "Wes," he said, "I'll tell you something about flying." He said, "If you actually seen how much true maintenance is done on aircraft, all of it," he said, "not just one or two, all these airlines." He said, "If you see what really goes into maintenance," he said, "you damn sure would never get on another airplane."
Well, the maintenance guys aren't killing themselves. I mean, they're unionized, and they just I don't know. I think they do a good job, but I think that some things do slip through the cracks.
I will say, with the airline maintenance, everything that's touched is logged in a book. So airline maintenance is a whole lot more under more scrutiny than your GA, general aviation.
Yes. Now, when something goes wrong, there's usually an explanation later as to what went wrong, and it's usually where somebody dropped the ball maintenance-wise.
Exactly.
Now, right now, who would you say is the lowest end airline company?
What's the what?
Airways.
The lowest end.
The lowest what?
Lowest end.
Lowest end.
Lowest end airline. Yeah. I'll tell you what, hands down, the lowest end airline right now, in my opinion, is Allegiant.
Yep.
Well, I don't know if he's talking about like airlines. Like, I think he's talking about like the big ones. Your U.S. Airways, Continental, Delta.
Allegiant is considered a major airline.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
it's not.
We flew on something called an Airbus. I forgot Airbus. Yeah. I forgot what number it was.
You have Airbus and Boeing.
It didn't look too impressive to me.
Uh-huh.
Airbuses are more impressive than the Boeings.
Well, let me tell you a little something about the Airbus. The Airbus will not fall out of the sky. No matter, there's so many systems in the Airbus, like if something goes wrong, like you could have all control of the airplane and the Airbus by itself will power out of it and get you out any situation imaginable. It's got
I don't
so many
understand
computers.
if you lose your engines, what could it possibly do?
Other than the engine, so there's so many backups to the backup there that the systems will kick in, and there's no way.
I think you're more likely. Let me ask you this: if you were to lose complete power, number 1 and 2 engine, would you be more likely to glide in a Boeing or an Airbus?
A Airbus.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Across the board right now, did they still make Airbuses?
Yeah, Airbus is the most popular airplane right now.
How much is the average cost for one?
80 million.
For one airplane?
Yeah. Yeah. Don't be knocking on the Airbus, because that's what I fly.
Hey,
what kind of Airbus you fly, Peter? 321?
320, 321.
Nice.
What's the most expensive airline jets made right now?
Airbus 330?
I'm going to say the Airbus, well, a lot of the airlines, yeah, I say the Airbus 330.
I used to work at the airport.
So what makes Allegiant bottom of the line then? Their pricing?
Maintenance. Old airplanes. Pilot
who's
group.
the biggest airline in
How do you think you're getting those round trip tickets for $30?
Yeah.
Now, who is the biggest? Who's the largest airline out there now?
As of right now, I think Delta is the number 1 airline out there.
And who do you fly for?
Frontier.
Frontier. And I ain't even never heard of them.
Sucks to be you, then.
I mean, seriously, which I never heard
Yeah.
of Allegiant, and until we flew to New York or to New Jersey.
Yeah, Frontier's got the same business model as like Allegiant or even Spirit, but I'd say Spirit's a little bigger than Frontier, but we got a better group, better airplane. We got all brand new airplanes. So
is there pricing? How's y'all's pricing? Is it
same exact thing? About $100 a ticket.
Same thing as Allegiant.
Pretty. Yeah, I say a little more, but about the same.
Do y'all fly everywhere they fly?
Yep.
Okay.
And more.
Well, I might have to look y'all up next time. Now, how about the COVID thing? Do you still have to wear a mask on an airplane?
Nope. That's all done.
All right. Hell, when I got on that airplane, everybody had their mask on. As soon as we took off, half the people was taking their damn mask off.
Yeah.
All right, guys. You guys ready to call it?
Think so. Got an early morning wake up call. I'm out.
Hey, I would like to give out a shout out before we go to Scott Perry, because he likes to talk shit, but Scott Perry will stay with us till the end. He watches every week, and if we do a giveaway, I'm gonna make sure Scott wins.
I think half the damn time Scott doesn't even pay attention. He just types shit.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Hey,
all right, guys. Good night.
Ho. We just went back up to 4 viewers. Let's don't go yet.
Good night, guys. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out with us. We'll see you next week.
Buddy. Be safe.
See ya. Take care.
See you guys next week on Real Fisherman. Good night.
Later.
Yep.